Well, welcome everyone to the opening evening of The Children for Stage West Theater. It's actually kind of opening night number 2. We got closed over the weekend of the Ides of March, and now we're getting to open again for 2 weeks of streaming to everyone's home, April 9th through the 22nd. So welcome everyone. I had a few questions that I'd love to ask you guys about. Lisa, my first one is for you. I was wondering if you would share with us what your favorite memory from the show is.
Well, my very favorite memory from the show was choreographing with Danielle and Bob and CJ our dance that we do during the show. It was the best, most fun I've had in rehearsal in a long time. Shout out to all you guys, especially Danielle.
So do you think that, 20 years from now, you'll be able to teach everyone the dance?
Yes. Absolutely.
Good. So we'll have a reunion 20 years from now.
Well, that's if I'm not on a walker. Yes, we can.
You need to put that on TikTok.
Yeah, put it on TikTok.
Get it on TikTok. That's right.
Yeah, we should put it on TikTok after the run of this. See if people can do it.
You'll have to meet up together.
I don't have TikTok, but
we can have people submit their own version, see if they can do the dance after the last. It's so much fun.
I think it's a great idea.
It's such a good dance, and the song is just, I don't want to give the song away, but it's perfect.
So CJ, where are you? There you are.
Hello.
If you were to pick a word to describe the show, what would you choose?
Well, C is for the children, is for CJ, is for compelling. I think very compelling.
It is a compelling show, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I'm
limited to one word. I'll go with compelling.
It's really a quintessential Stage West show, isn't it? It's thought-provoking, and it's funny, and it's a little dark, and it's all of those wonderful things. Sorry.
Ding dong.
Something going there.
Ding dong. Actually, that is a medical professional headed to Stage West right now to pick up our Shop N95 masks. She works with the elderly, and so she's able to take them from us and utilize them. We only had 10.
That's beautiful.
That was that little ding that came in.
That's amazing. That's
8.
You guys.
Nice thing. Okay, so I am wondering what one of the more challenging aspects of the show was. Bob, tell us something about the show that was a challenging aspect of putting it together.
For me personally, it was the contemporary pithiness of what we were talking about, that it was going on in our lives as we were playing it. That was surreal to me, that what we were playing was actually playing out in reality simultaneously. That was just bizarre. We were having a play about an international incident, a tragic, devastating incident, while a devastating international incident was happening. It was a little surreal to me.
No, I would totally agree with that. We would talk about it, between scenes or doing intermissions, and we would all check our phones, and Bob and CJ and I would literally just say, "Oh my gosh, this just came out. This just came out." There's exclusion zones. We actually say exclusion zones in the play. It was, and then we had to be funny about it, and that was hard, I think, for all of us. And yet, it's theater.
Well, this is the first equity job that I have done in over a dozen years. So it was sort of surreal going in and surreal going out. So the unusual thing is, as the crisis was mounting around us, I was still in that bubble of, but I'm an actress. Forget your 401k. I'll never look at it again. But I'm an actress. I don't need to do that. So it's interesting how with the blinders on of wanting to do a great job as a professional, we really were able to, in a way, inoculate ourselves in a little bubble of, we're doing theater. And it was only really that weekend that we opened where, gosh, we have to change too. The world was changing around us, but I was happy to live on that little English coastline for several weeks and be in this rarefied world of sharing this author's play. And so committed was I to that, One tile and a handbasket. I mean, a lot of other things went to the side. And, you know, I'm grateful that you took the signals from your board, the universe, the county commissioner, and we did things, you know, we shut things down when we did. Had it been up to me, I would not have realized the immediate necessary danger to close. Changes, yes, but closing, you know, that was like, wow. So it's not so much like the rug pulled out from under, but a slow awakening to the level of peril, to the level of contagion. And so that's been kind of fascinating, and how the show has elements of that, just, you know, fascinating.
We have our choreographer, Danielle Giorgio, here.
Woo!
I'd love for you to talk a little bit about your experience working on the show and that fantastic dance number that you put in.
Sure. That was like a quick process for me. We had like one real rehearsal to put that dance together, and the cast, CJ, Lisa, Bob, all of you brought in such wonderful ideas, and it was so much fun to like truly collaborate and create this dance number that's really like a very much, I'd say, like a social dance. It's got moves in there that are going to look familiar to a lot of people watching the show. And I agree, like, we should make this little dance into a little dance challenge on TikTok, or make it go viral, because it's like a cool, fun dance. It makes you feel good. And when it happens in the play, it's in a moment where the tension is really heightening, and it's like absolutely necessary. And the only thing you can do is dance. So it was a lot of fun for me, and I love working at Stage West, so it was really nice to come back and be with all of y'all. So it was a good time.
And hey, shout out to Bob for that song, finding that song. Seriously.
Yes,
it was
the piece. It was the element that we needed to like figure out what we were going to do. And I'm still singing that song. Like, I'm trying to look at Bob through the camera, but I'm still singing that song. It just pops into my head.
Who knew that T-Rex were such monster superstars in Britain? Not in America as much, but in Britain, they had like 10 #1 records in 1 year.
Wow.
And this was one of them.
Oh, it's a great song. You know, I'd love to hear a little bit, you know, we were talking about parallels to real life, and I'd love to hear a little bit from our marketing team on the ideas that you put forward for marketing this show. Namely the face masks that were on there. All of that has gotten a lot of attention because it does have such a strong image that parallels today's world. Garrett, Jen, Carrie, would any of you like to just speak to some of the feel that you helped to put together?
Of course, Garrett is the one who put together the costumes for our for the promo shoot. So that was his vision. We did use references from the event that inspired the play in the first place, to sort of like keep touch with reality. But the fact that we started seeing video images in late February, early March that were so reminiscent of what we were seeing definitely sent shivers down my spine when going through the photos. It's incredible to have such a prescient show to market, but also a little scary.
Garrett, you chose the word, you've been choosing words to use with each play this season, and the word that you chose for this one was future. Can you go into a little bit about your thoughts behind choosing that?
Yeah, I think it's one of the prime arguments of the play, is how do we move forward, and what kind of future are we leaving to our children and the next generation? It also felt like, it feels like a really immediate word these days. Maybe it always has, I don't know. But I feel like it's constantly on our minds, the future and our world and the state of the world, and in very small circles, but also in very, very large circles. And these three humans are trying to navigate how to shape a better future for their children and future generations. And I also just kind of love how they sort of behave like children a lot of times themselves.
Yes. Yes.
And so you see the future that they're shaping for the children, but also the future they were trying to shape when they were young, and how those two things are now dissonant. So I think it's a really, it's a charged word. We all have opinions about the word future. And so I think that was why that word was chosen.
Carrie, you've been doing all of the social media marketing for this. Have you noticed any kind of feedback trends that have evolved from this, or any posts that have come from what you've put online that seem to have a trend?
Yeah, so a lot of the responses we've been getting from people on our social media posts regarding the children is that what's going on in the world today is very relevant to what's happening in the play. And I think people are very interested in the children because of that, because they like seeing things that connect together. But also the children is also a very entertaining play, so it also gives them that bit of escape from all the fears and terrors that's going on in the world today.
I'd like to talk really briefly with Alan and Carly, who are two of the, well, we call them Team Awesome at State. They're rounded out by Brian Stevenson, and they were the ones who built the set for the show. And I've got to tell you, this is one of my very favorite sets that I have ever seen on our stage before. And each night that I would walk out through it to do the curtain speech, those few nights, I just wanted to move in to that house. So I was wondering, Alan and Carly, if there were any special features that audiences might look for when they're watching the show, things that either were especially challenging or fun for you to do.
I mean, I really appreciated the just the level of detail that our designer Will Turbin put into making that house such a lived-in place for the characters to live in. Even details as, you know, the little bit of what you can see around a corner into a hallway that really just leads off stage is furnished and complete, and has all the elements of a space that people have lived in for years and years. And it made it feel very authentic in that sense.
I personally like the texture of the walls because it's something like fun that you don't really get to do very much for a lot of sets, and it's just kind of fun to get like down and dirty and like messy trying to put all the texture on, just to add that little bit more detail of realism to the set, as Alan was talking about.
Well, let's continue with behind the scenes just for a couple more minutes, because we have our team behind the scenes led by our stage manager and company manager, Tiffany Cromwell. And then you had two technicians working with you backstage. And so I'd love to hear from you guys on just a favorite moment or two that you all experienced during this show, whether related directly to the show or indirectly.
This has been one of my favorite shows I've gotten to work on. The whole team, just from day one, from the first production meeting to throw out tech, everyone you could tell was so passionate about making sure this show went on so beautifully, and I think we really were able to accomplish that. I mean, I will always say the dance rehearsal is one of my favorite rehearsals ever. And I think one of the challenges with this show is everything was so very particular of how it needed to be set up in the home. I think Lisa probably can attest to that the most, of everything needing to be very specific. There are a lot of props in it, and there are a lot of food props in this one, which is always a lot of fun. But with every challenge we were able to overcome, it just really made for such a beautiful show. And it's very rare sometimes that you get to work on a production where every single person brings something so beautiful to the table and it has such an amazing attitude about it. And I also get to say that I have one of the best seats in the house, getting to watch it every night from the booth. And that is one thing that I truly do miss, is seeing the show every single night. But very, very glad to be a part of it and have such a great team backstage with me too. So Flower was my ASM and my crew with us. So I'd love to hear y'all's experiences.
Yeah, mine's probably gonna sound a little strange. I love cleaning, I really do. I don't do it in my house, but I love cleaning. And so anytime that I would clean the yoga mat, I love the smell of the cleaner. It was lavender and it just like brightened me up every single time I cleaned it. I was like, this smells amazing. Like I loved it. And then I would try to like restrain myself from doing the dance backstage because I was trying so hard to be quiet, but I was like, oh, I want to do it so bad. It's so fun. But yeah, that was me. What about you, Flower?
Oh, I flat out did the dance backstage. I love doing a lot of backstage work. For me, I absolutely love all the little things that viewers will see in the video that just kind of happen. And I love working with Tiffany and Kate.
But I wanted to turn really quickly to sort of the financial moment of the show, because right now we did lose 4 weeks of this show and we're getting to produce it for 2 weeks by streaming. So I'd love to hear from our brave financial leader who keeps us all in the business, Mark Shum, about why people need to watch this show and purchase some streaming tickets.
Yeah, well, we did go through the entire production process. So we spent all the money we had budgeted to get the show up and going, which many people don't realize how expensive it is to produce a show, even a small cast show. So, I mean, we're in it for like, $35,000. That's what it costs just to get it, get it up and going. And then we had to shut it down and then bring an ace team in to film it in the best quality that we possibly could. So it's an expensive thing. And so just for that reason, I hope that people buy a ticket to stream the show. And not only that, but I've seen bits of it and it came out really, really good. It looks professional.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. So I know that not everyone got to watch the show, and some people had to stay away because it was the first weekend when the spread was really starting to happen, and so there were some health concerns. So for those of you who haven't gotten to make a comment yet, I've left this for you, Beth and Susie, and someone new just joined us.
Carlin!
Here.
You are live in our recording session, KLV. Welcome to the party.
I have a question for you. Just a second, Carlin. Yeah, so for Beth and Jack and Susie and Tanya, I know that you guys are going to be excited to see this show, and as most viewers will be watching it for the first time, is there anything that you'd like to say as far as what you're excited to be doing, why you're excited to watch it?
One of the things that inspires me about theater people is that we are creative problem solvers, and we do live theater. That's our specialty, but humans are adaptable, and we theater folk are creative, and we could not let this creative thing that we had given birth to just go by the wayside. I was one of the people who didn't get to see it that weekend. I can't tell you how thrilled and excited I am to be able to see this wonderful performance and this wonderful show.
I second that. I really do. I think that I'm excited to see how it transfers over and how it kind of resonates in this, recorded like that. I've seen clips of Broadway shows, I've seen theater online, but how do you kind of respond to that when that's all you've got right now? So we've been isolated for this however many days now. I think I'm losing track, but how does that pull over when we don't have the option, and what do we get from it in this time?
Susie, did you want to round that out?
I saw the show.
Oh, I forgot that you got to see it. So I ask you then, Susie, why should people at home be excited to watch this?
Well, I think y'all have pretty much covered it. I'm personally excited because I watched from the booth, sort of extreme social distancing. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing it head on instead of over and down. I just think it's an amazing piece, and we had honestly the best, most perfect team working on this. And I think it's something that everybody would enjoy. It's a really unique piece.
Well, and our fearless leader who helped to put it all together, Carlin Vaney, has joined us. Yay! And so we're going to let you have the last question before we all raise our varying beverages and take a big old swig in honor of the children. But we'd like you to finish off our well-rounded conversation with letting us know basically, what do you want audiences at home to know about what we're bringing them?
I don't know how to answer that question, so I'm going to pretend that you asked another one and answer that instead.
Great.
One thing that I'm really excited about with the filming version of it is that when you're watching it at home on your computer, you get an opportunity to see a version of the play that you would not have if you were in the audience of a theater, which is why this is so special to me. You know, when you're in the audience of a theater, you see it from one point of view, which is your seat. And what I'm so excited about with this is that you get to really see all the beautiful detailed work that the actors do. You're going to get to see close-ups of them that you wouldn't normally get to have. So I'm really excited that you get to see a full level view of the production, from like a really tight close-up of their face to the beautiful work they're doing with their bodies. And so I'm excited for that opportunity to be brought to live theater. I think it's so rare. How's that?
It is great, because you're right. I've had the opportunity now to look through all of the drafts of it, all of the roughs, and I can tell you, everyone that is watching this and then that will watch it, that you're getting to see Carlin's the truest take that a director could have of a play, because she was able to come in and show you her perspective and what she thought was the thing to be looking at any given moment. And it really is it's quite stunning. The production, I couldn't be more proud of, not only when it was on stage, but now also in its streaming version. So does everyone have a beverage? Would anyone like to be the person that's made a toast? Because I've been talking a lot.
I will do it.
Thank you, Lisa.
Here's to what has been an amazing, amazing experience from beginning to end. One we certainly never expected, and continues to be an unknown for all of us. But so appreciative, Stage West, for all you have done to bring this to life. So cheers to you.
And to you. Cheers. Happy opening, everyone.
Happy opening, you guys.
Happy opening, finally.
Drink on.
Finally, yeah. Oh, did anyone want to tell us what you're drinking? Like, I'm drinking a vodka tonic with lime.
Exacto.
I'm drinking strawberry limeade with tequila.
Yeah. Bob, what are you drinking?
Dirty martini.
Nice. What are you drinking, Danielle?
It's just like fancy spa water.
This is when theater comes to your living room, you know. Hopefully everyone will participate.
Yeah. The only bad thing is you can't eat the food in the cafe. But other than that, there's no reason not to watch this show. And I get to watch the show for once and not have to worry about anything else. That's what I'm excited about. I can actually just watch.
What happened to the cafe food? Is there possibly going to be some to go and pick up of that cake?
We ate it.
Oh, you ate it.
From
Well, that
3
was
Danes
smart.
Inn and 3 Danes Bakery, and you can still buy some from them. Everyone in that neighborhood are independent businesses, and they are all open for business. And so if you're in the Fort Worth area, you can call, and they have people who will run it out to your car.
Beautiful.
So 3 Danes Bakery, the best strawberry cake.
You have to order from 3 Danes in advance. You have to, like, Friday's order pickups have to be ordered by noon tomorrow. The same for Saturday. I know, because I get them every week.
Any other final thoughts from anyone?
I miss you all.
Yes.
We miss you too.
Congratulations, everybody. We've made some remarkable lemonade.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. Hear, hear.
Hear, hear.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, cheers.
And so now comes the time when we say goodnight. Thank you for joining us for this masterpiece roundup of the children.